Good evening. Happy Tuesday. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Tonight, the Glenwood power plant. What's really happening there? Let's talk about it. Good evening, Yonkers. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the Glenwood power plant. What's really happening there? And what's up with all the mysterious changes going around to real estate here in the city? Let's talk about it. Good evening, good evening. Happy Tuesday. Happy National Night Out. Happy Tuesday, happy National Night Out. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered tonight. I want to talk about the Glenwood power plant. I had Shanae on the show last night, Shanae Williams, councilwoman. I had her on through another podcast. Anyway, I was going over some of the things that she had said last year in a podcast in regards to her district and the developments that were going on there. She talked about other things like the Yonkers public schools and the conditions that the buildings were in. And one of the things she said that scared me was that some of the buildings' roofs are falling down. Now, I wonder if our kids were in any danger. Are they safe to be in the buildings? Is it structurally sound? I mean, I know the hell I was put through for my small building that's not 100 years old, like many of these school buildings here in the city of Yonkers. And I wonder what she was doing about it. I mean, she talked about it in the worst way. She also talked about the developments and that much of developments going on here in the city of Yonkers were happening in her area, the downtown area. And one of those developments or proposed developments is the redevelopment of the Glenwood Power Station. Now, that was proposed by a group called the Goren Group, Goren Development Group, and it's led by CEO and founder Lela Lauren. So I wanted to look up Lela, look into the Glenwood Power Plant and see what's going on there, because I've been hearing rumors about Trevor Park being sold to developers. I've also heard about rumors that eventually there will be luxury townhomes or possibly apartments where the JFK Marina currently sits. It all has to do with the developments that are going up all along the Hudson River, including the long walkway that will go from Battery Park eventually all the way up to Albany. So the power plant is right there. The JFK Marina sits right in the path of this walkway, this trailway. And it's not going to sit like that ugly. So what are they proposing to do? Little background on the Glenwood Power Station. Built to service the New York Central and Hudson River Railroads, built in the 1900s to provide electricity for them. However, it was decommissioned in 1969 after Con Edison, which shut it down after they bought it from the railways back in 1936. While it's seen better days, like many old world buildings, its architecture is something that's still admired by many. They actually have tours that they take people into this place, and people like to see abandoned buildings and this type of architecture, right? None have admired the old power plant more than Lela Goren, CEO of the Goren Group, developers who want to bring to Yonkers, according to Ms. Goren, a climate change science lab of some sort where scientists from all over the world can come to Northwest Yonkers to collaborate on research in regards to climate change. I would imagine, right? That's not all. She also envisions a giant hall with a moving stage, one that will move the length of the power plant. In order to do so, the developers would need to take up some of Trevor Park. So what does it mean for the people who live there? What does it mean for them? First, let's start at the beginning. The plan has sat in despair since forever. I remember when I used to go to museum school there. I would always see it just the same way as it is there. And we even went into it once as young kids. I always wondered what it was about. right? And there have been several ideas and interests, but nothing has ever materialized, and it continued to sit just waiting for someone to come along at the right time. As Yonkers continues full steam ahead with developments, now is the right time. Now is the right time to make moves, and that's what Laura Goren of the Goren Group has done. Laura Goren seems to be a good salesman, but excuse me, but developer, we hear, has not gone so well for her. As I read about Ms. Goren, I looked for specific projects she has developed. While it says she has spent the last 20 years in real estate development, it did not give specific projects. It talked about the millions of square feet that she's developed, but it didn't give any names. No names of any developments that she did. Well, at least what I was reading, I didn't see any. Right. In fact, the only detail that it did give, which I found very interesting, was that she was the senior vice president of acquisitions and development at EXTELL Development. And she later became co-founder and CEO of the EXTELL New York Regional Center, where she was a partner on numerous EXTELL development projects. I found that to be interesting, right? Why? Because I immediately remembered the groundbreaking ceremony that Tasha Diaz attended with the Poom Poom shorts, the one which I crashed down by the water for the $500 million EXTELL development going up, which consists of 7 buildings. Not too far north of that sits the old power plant. So then I began to wonder, did EXTELL have anything to do with the power plant, right? So what's really going on? What's really going on? Is it really going to be a hub for climate change research? And how would residents of Glenwood, Ravine, Woolworth, and Woburn be impacted? Lela Goren somehow acquired the property after investing $1 million and became a partner, and then somehow became the sole owner once that partner died, left it all to her. Her most recent proposal, which has been making the rounds online in various articles, calls for a multi-level building with offices, climate change research facilities, and an event hall with moving stage. My first thought was, why would anyone want to build a climate change research facility here in Yonkers, Northwest Yonkers, right? Especially if they're a real estate developer, an investor, unless they were specifically hired by a company, a lab, a laboratory, some research firm that does this type of stuff, and they wanted a facility there. Why would she want to build that? How would she make money? Right? After all, I should say that is what it's about, making money when you're investing in real estate. So how will she make money? Right? It's not like someone's asking her to build this. That's not the situation. Right? So what is it really? What's the deal? Why would these scientists want to come to Yonkers, right? Why would scientists from all around the world want to come to Yonkers? What does Lela Goren know about climate change and climate change research and experiments and whatever else that they do, right? And why have an event space with a moving stage? If the goal is to create an environment for people to learn about climate change, as well as have experiments being conducted by the greatest minds from around the world, why an event hall? I know this, so I immediately knew this wasn't about, at least me. That's what I thought. I said, this is not about climate change, right? But why pitch it that way? Why propose this climate change facility? Then I learned of the funding, right? The funding the Goren Group received from all us taxpayers, money Biden and Congress has been handing out to transform cities into green cities or smart cities. Billions have been handed out taxpayer money for things like smart street lamps, those things that are going up that the mayor was touting not too long ago, and even the speed cameras that are going up. That's where money's coming from. Smart meters. Money has also been distributed to build green buildings and for things that seek to educate, research, and go green, because it's all about climate change now. So then it started to make sense to me. It's all a gimmick. It's all a gimmick. I believe, in my opinion, that she is proposing this idea now to simply receive grant money, millions in grant money, which they have received so far, money that is supposed to go to renovating the building. But is it? Nope, because that's not really her intentions, in my opinion. In my opinion, she's either holding it until she gets a great offer, all the while getting grant money, or it will become a music hall of some sort to cater to all those living in the luxury apartments along the water. Eventually, the JFK Marina will also have luxury townhomes, from what I'm hearing, or possibly apartments, right? Notice that they put gates there. Why? They wanted to keep people out, right? So they're creating something that's going to cater to the individuals that will be moving in, as Shanae Williams said in that interview, from Brooklyn and Manhattan. They plan on building, again, a walkway that's going to go from Battery Park all the way to Albany along the Hudson River there. Imagine a nice hall, music hall, stage where they do live performances, and they have a marina there where yachts pull up, boats pull up. They can walk down to the Yonkers Brewing Company, get themselves a delicious John Rubo IPA, and then walk to their apartment and stay a while. One thing for sure, the people that once lived here will not be there when that all comes to fruition. They will slowly be getting pushed out. So what about the people? They photo off the proposal for a parking lot, but what about the rest of the plan? I mean, Joe Cotter buying up everything, EXTELL 7 buildings project going along the waterfront there, and now you have the power plant, which sits just a few minutes north of the EXTELL project. Again, Lela Goren once worked with, or may still work with, EXTELL. And I know that they are in some sort of litigation, but I wonder why. I didn't get that information just yet. All right. So what will happen to the people once they build all that up? Joe Cotter builds the rest of his studio or whatever they're doing there on Woolworth, as they buy up Woolworth. EXTELL 7 buildings that will be going up there, also along Woolworth and Babcock, and that will extend, I'm sure, north, closer to the power plant. And so you just think that they're going to build a research facility so scientists could study climate change? Really? Remember, they want to install a moving stage, an event hall. So I believe that's what it's going to be. It's a great space to do some kind of a theater, an event hall where they have real musicians come in. And I mean, like, big musicians, big names possibly. People could pull up on their yachts. I've seen this in Miami. And people can walk down the walkway and go to the Weeknd's concert or whoever else people like. The prices of the rents are going to go up. Many of those buildings won't be there anymore. And no one seems to be protesting this. I mean, Shanae Williams talked about the people that are here. She said, we have to focus on the people that are here, not just the people that they want from Brooklyn and Manhattan. Right there, she solidified it for me that it's all about replacing the people, changing the demographic. Right? So why is someone like Shanae supporting this? What's in it for her and other council members who continue to approve changes to the zoning laws, like they recently did with that project on Hudson Street, the 25-story building that will be going up down the corner. And just behind there sits the ShopRite on Riverdale and Prospect, which I hear is going to possibly be a Whole Foods. Now, a Whole Foods? Which demographic are they targeting? I hear Whole Foods is a lot more expensive. I don't shop there. I once went in for Tylenol, and they told me they didn't have that. They pointed me to some weird brand. I said, I'm okay. I left. That was my last time in there. Not for people like me who grew up in that area. We use Tylenol. So who is this for? And I want the people to think about that, because you have to think about what decisions your elected officials are actually making and why they are making those decisions. And while they sell it to you like it's in your favor, or they keep you distracted with food distributions, they're selling you out. They're going to be okay because they are benefiting from it somehow, some way. There's something in it for them when they do things like kill the affordable housing ordinance. Where's the energy in the fight for that, Shanae? That was your baby. There's a huge need. Why not turn that power plant into a place for people who are in need of housing? There you go, Macy. Maybe you can actually have more vouchers. Turn that into housing. But you can't have them near the luxury apartments, right? Just be honest. Keep it real. Don't lie to the people. And that's what makes it bad. You sell yourselves to the people like you're like them, I'm for them, I'm like you, look at me, we look the same, and you're really selling them out. And many other people who would have normally spoken up are getting things here and there, getting funding. And it's incredible. If I wanted to be completely honest, I would say some things that might blow some people's minds. But sometimes I do have to hold back, just out of respect. I'm not looking to be disrespectful. I'm looking to create real change and tell the people the truth. What's happening? Prepare yourself. Get ready to look for places on the east side. Maybe not. So I know there are a lot of people that would normally speak up and have been bought off somehow, some way. You're part of selling the people out. You may not realize it all the way because you may not fully understand what's happening, but eventually you will. And you'll be like, damn, I didn't even say nothing because I got this little thing right here for myself. No more Trevor Park. No more JFK Marina. Don't matter because many of you won't be living there. Prices will just be too high. Too high. Even for the buildings that remain. The movie folks are coming in. And so, Shanae, keep it honest with them. Be real. Be 100%. These people elected you to represent them. You said so yourself. You need to hold the developers accountable. But look what Miss Lela Goren is doing. Look what EXTELL is doing. They're telling the people lies. That's fraud. I mean, pretending that you're going to develop something so you can qualify for grants and funding, and then you actually don't do that, and it ends up becoming something completely different. That's fraud. I wonder how many times that's happened. And is that why some of these developers have both a nonprofit and a for-profit company? And I'm digging into some strange checks that certain individuals receive from a medical facility in the Bronx. It's very unusual that these three individuals will receive these checks. One of them started receiving these checks as soon as they became an elected official. But it's strange because they listed as employees. And it tells their base salary. But each of the years that they've been receiving these checks, they never received their entire base salary. It's just a $10,000 check that one year, 7,000 or 11,000 that one year. It's like, why didn't they receive their full base salary? And did they work there? Were they really a social worker? It's interesting stuff that I'm looking into. And, when I put that out, I may blow some people's mind. Mike Spano can clean the bathrooms there when he's out of office. He's not qualified to do anything else. Nick Spano makes sure he gets more and more ziti put on his plate, and Frito just sits there and smiles his stupid smile. But you have to. What about the city council? I mean, they are voting this. They make you know, no opposition. I mean, they go into these meetings and they don't ask questions. They vote everything pretty much 7-0. They don't discuss anything because a lot of that's already decided before they go into that meeting. And so they are the ones that are supposed to at least be there to check this. If that's how it is, then why aren't you guys checking it? Shanae Williams, especially, that's your district. Why aren't you checking this? What are you doing to make sure that the people are receiving some benefit and are not getting shafted? What? Tell them how you really feel about them. You don't really like that low income stuff, don't you? Tell them how you really feel. You got to be easy with that. Right? What are you doing for them? If they thinking about taking away that ShopRite and putting a Whole Foods, come on. And then now they are going to tear down the new fire station that they just built on School Street to relocate it to its original location. Developers run the show. They do what they want. Still no money for schools, though. No money to do the renovations. Can we get one of these developers to develop our schools into better conditions? What about our kids? As Shanae says, they're sitting in schools with roofs falling down. I mean, nobody's talking about that. That's not moving. Education's not moving forward. The roads being repaired is not moving forward. Taxes keep increasing. Speed cameras are going up. But there's no money. Developers are developing, but there's no money. No money for the schools. We need schools, folks. Shanae Williams has said that. I just want to point that out because I just want to let you know what's really happening there. That place is not going to be a climate change facility. That's not going to have anything to do. I mean, it don't make sense. Think about it. Well, how are they going to make money? She's an investor, real estate investor, right? How is she going to make money with a climate change facility there? What are they going to do? Where's the product? Is there a service? How's she making money? Is these scientists going to come there and rent this out so they can do this? Is she hoping this is what it becomes? Because is she hoping that some scientists will say, "Hey, yeah, we want to rent this space out and work on climate change stuff right there in Northwest Yonkers"? Think about it. Think about why she is positioning that way and pitching that way. Because it's all about that funding is fraud. These people are liars. They're fraudsters. She's a part of EXTELL, and they want all of that. All that land there. Land that we could have put new schools on. Right? So we could have did some, okay, not build a new school. Once that school is built, move kids into there, knock down the old one, build up a new one in that space, put kids in there, do that again. You know what I mean? It could have been using land to kind of, I don't know, leapfrog or however you want to call that, to build schools, because you can't just completely shut down schools, the school system, and stop kids from going to school so they can rebuild these. Because I mean, really, renovating many times is more money, and it's not worth it. And I don't know the situation with each building, but sometimes just knocking it down, building a new is better. Oh, they should have thought about that. They should have used a lot of that land to just build new schools. That's it. And they just are located on these new pieces of land wherever they built them. That's what that should have been the primary goal. And if you had a city government that saw the opportunity, from the city, the Empire City Casino, and the money that they're going to receive, and and say, okay, now we're going to focus on getting these schools really up to par. Let's start putting money away to that and slowly, doing these repairs that we need and building the schools that we need. We'd be in a lot better shape. But where did a lot of that money go? Where did a lot of that? I mean, where does the money go? Let's start there. Where does the money go? We have to hold these individuals accountable, and we cannot, folks. I'm sorry, and I appreciate the food distributions, and I can see it. Many people who vote because they see that they do a food distribution. That's not their job, okay? And those food distributions are not going anywhere. They're going to be there even if those people are not voted in again. All right, I promise you that. I'll make sure if all these people voted out that the food distribution still continues, because Feeding Westchester will still exist. These organizations that actually are doing them will still exist. But imagine if we get capable people in office to do their jobs, what that would mean for the city. Because everyone has an issue, whether you're in need of housing, or your taxes are going up, or the roads are shitty. Schools, if you have your kids in the public schools, everyone has an issue. Everyone but the elected officials. I was watching a video of Corazon Pineda Isaac justifying a raise that they voted on. It was an old video. If you're crying for money, if you're crying broke other times, how do you justify a raise for a part-time job where you already receive perks like a car, free gas, and insurance for that car, along with other perks? How do you justify a raise when the city is broke? That right there shows poor decision making. You cannot give yourself a raise. When I start a business, I don't pay myself at all until the company is making money. And if there's any debts, we try to clear those debts before I give myself a paycheck, let alone a raise. So we need to get competent individuals in office that understands what a budget is, okay? Because their primary job is to approve the mayor's budget. They don't understand that. How can they prove it? A budget that's going to not leave us broke every year and relying on the state and crying for the state. Because she put everything on the state as if you don't have a job, as if your only job is to blame the state and distribute food. Like, you cannot make any excuses anymore. Not as competent people paying attention, or at least ones who are willing to speak out. Because it's obvious what you guys are doing. You're selling it out and you're benefiting. Don't worry, we're going to see the benefits. We're going to see them soon. Eventually, they have to start showing up. I mean, look at the drastic changes of Tasha Diaz. From the time she was delivering that food one time with Virginia Perez at 354 Whitney Young over there till now. It's almost like she became a superstar. She signed a recording contract with Sony Records with $1 million advance. She learned how to play Yonkers from Maya Lynn. Maya Lynn? I heard of a woman, I believe Jamie Lynn. I know she was Joe Carter's partner, or is Joe Carter's partner. It's all a game. They buy these properties from the city using their nonprofits, and they get all these grant funding through their nonprofits, so they don't have to put up their own money. They get tax breaks. Then they transfer them over after a certain amount of time to their for-profit business. They make some lame excuse like the nonprofit could no longer maintain it, so we have to bring in the for-profit business to run it. Same people. Just like, I mean, many of us don't know. We don't understand this until we start to look into it, and so it just happens, and we're like, okay. And it's not okay. And ultimately, you and I suffer. Whether you dent your rims or blow a tire on a pothole that's been there for the past 2 years, or you are piss poor at the end of the month because taxes are going up, your water bill and electric bills going up, along with everything else that's going up. You already have a Yonkers tax. Yonkers has a city tax. What it's what are the results? What are the return on that investment, right? What is the return on that? Oh, the price is going up, tax going up. Because the roads aren't getting repaired. But we got to first figure out who's in charge of that road. Is it the state, county, or the city, right? We have to first make that determination. By that time, there'd be another tire blown out, and the mayor had to keep getting out the car to help someone fix their tire. So everyone, we all suffer. We are all suffering. We are all suffering. It's going to get crowded on the east side as people are moving out of the area. Buildings are being sold. Or people are just leaving Yonkers altogether. And that's sad, man. That's sad. And they're selling us out. They don't care. I mean, just look at all the meetings. They don't ask questions. They don't care. They approve every zoning change. They don't ask, why are we changing the zoning law? It's there for a reason. Why are we changing it? Why did we get rid of 3 senior members of the zoning committee, zoning board, to replace them with a 20-some-year-old kid whose father is a real estate investor here in the city of Yonkers? I mean, is something going on here? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, could it be? Possibly. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. You could turn that place into a great community center for the kids. Because obviously what you guys are doing is not working. Everybody's just making a little bit of money. Everybody's hustling. There's a lot of little hustling going on. I see that. You guys are involving, get involved with, individuals you maybe should not. But I guess that's just the way politics is here in the city of Yonkers. It's just the norm. It's the status quo. And it's got to change. You got to get out and vote. You got to make sure that we are in their face and saying something about it. You can't just let it be. You have to say something. We have to speak up. And you do that this coming year. There's going to be some big elections. And you need to get out there and vote because all of you are going to be affected. I don't care what side of town you live on. You're going to be affected unless you're a part of it. And that's very few people. So I would imagine the majority of you are going to be affected negatively. So get out and be active. Let's get out there and let's vote and let's let them know we're tired. Hey, seniors, I'm with you. This last hoorah, baby. One last hoorah with my seniors in the city of Yonkers, many of them who got so much stuff that they would love to say. But you're playing us. You're all playing us. And you contradict yourself. You're catching lies, saying one thing, and here we are 5 years later with nothing. It was just a bunch of hogwash. Anyway, 33 minutes. Yep. So we have to do something about it, folks. Otherwise, not going to change. This is Lela Goren. The power plant developers has withdrawn the proposal to build a parking garage in the JFK Marina by my friendly stalker, Brian Hurrah, who recently just followed me. I don't understand, guy. This is what I understand about people. But I'm the crazy guy. Man, why are you following me? Yonkers, a disputed JFK Marina parking lot conversion has given groundwork Hudson Valley a black eye after they partnered with a developer of the Glenwood power plant. Now, after a community uproar, developer Lela Goren and groundwork Hudson Valley, right? And this is why these organizations, again, get these fundings and stuff. They're all in on it, have withdrawn the proposal to build a parking lot. Why would groundwork Hudson Valley want to build a parking garage at JFK Marina rooftop with recreation and green space? Groundwork Hudson Valley said they would build greenhouses and give produce to the community, much like they do on the science barge docked in the Yonkers Pier. Like, we need to improve our schools, man. Like, I don't understand where people don't get that. The roofs are falling down. That's what Shanae Williams said. Only a year ago, and much hasn't been done. Like, what are we doing? Where is the focus? You need somebody to get in there. Like, we got to find someone to get in there and crack a whip. So, okay, this what's going on here. Let's open up these books. Where's this money been going? Why are we always crying broke? We should not be dependent on the state. I mean, they're telling us to be less dependent on them. So why are we saying we need more from them? Shanae, you're telling them you need more from the state. We need more from the state, but they're telling you you need to be less dependent. Where's the, discrepancy there? Where's the disconnect? Why would they tell you that? Because you need to be. We have to have a surplus. You got to get these schools fixed, repaired, rebuild, or build anew. That should be the focus. So you need somebody to go in there, look at everything. What's going on here? Where do we trim the fat? Stop creating jobs, $100,000 jobs that are not needed. You don't need someone specifically to focus on equity in, among the city employees when human resource should be doing that. I mean, I don't get it. It's like individuals who just got these jobs, these cushy jobs, $100,000 a year, gotta go in there, trim the fat. If this job is nonsense, makes no sense, it was just created, that's gotta go. Where do we save money? Maybe for a time, we need to take away those cars because that'll save us X amount of dollars a year. We could put that towards the schools. You ever thought about that, council members? Why don't you be selfless and say, hey, you know what? We're willing to give up our cars, the gas that the city pays, especially now with the higher gas prices and insurance. And going out, so I'm sure the insurance that they pay on your car, from what I hear, must be through the roof. I don't know how many accidents you've been in, right? And we're going to be selfless. We're going to give up the cars so we can save the city money. Where else can we find? Do things like that. But you're giving yourself raises. You keep the cars. And then you cry broke. I mean, if these people are incompetent, I don't know what is. Or if they aren't, I don't know what is. I mean, because simple things like that should be done and need to be done. They have to be done. Cars should go. That's a must. You're doing everything through Zoom anyway most of the time. Continue it that way. It's cheaper for the city. Stay at your house. What difference is it going to make? But not having those cars, not paying that gas, those insurance premiums, and whatever else will make a difference. And so if we're broke and we need more money from the state and we just don't have it for the things that we really need, then those cars have to go. End of story. Majority Leader, give back the TV and the refrigerator. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Time to hold them accountable, allowing people to come up in the city of Yonkers and scam us, scam the federal government with these climate nonsense, receiving grant money to do absolutely nothing. Hold on to this property. It's falling apart. It should just be knocked down. It makes no sense trying to restore it, renovate it, repurpose it. Makes no sense. Knock it down. City should keep it. Build something for the people of the city of Yonkers. Show us that we're the priority here, not the developers. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Have a beautiful night. Enjoy your Wednesday. Hump day. We're almost there to the weekend. I know when we get there, feels like be right back to work. Anyway, folks, thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. And it's only going to get better. Times got to change. Things got to change. And this is an important year that's coming up. And I want to be super active, super involved, super informative, bringing, the people the information that they need, bringing things to your attention, making you aware, the details like this. This is a scam. It's a scam. This whole power plant thing is a scam. In my opinion, it's a scam. She got the money. She got money. What did she do with it? Dished it off to people to hush hush so they don't protest or give any resistance. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Peace out. I am Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered, the only guy that's going to give it to you straight and look out for you and make sure you don't get scammed. You may not like it sometimes, but I have to tell it to you that way. There is no other way. I'm here for you, the people. And sometimes a dose of reality can sting, but it goes away. Trust me, I know. I've had many stings. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting. By the way, to the law guardian who is refusing to bail out Miss Elizabeth Weinstein, I'm sorry we have not connected. I have a lot going on. Yeah, I do. But, Mr. Law Guardian, help out your client. This is what I mean. I don't like being a sucker, folks. Do you? It's time we speak out. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Have a blessed night.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
I was raised in housing.
That's a lot of stars. That's a lot of stars. That's a lot of stars. Hopefully, we're going to get to 3,500 stars. When I get there, I will be happy. Benefit from me. Because it doesn't cover. He only talks trash. I benefit him. Because it doesn't cover. He only talks trash. I don't talk trash. We are the real McCoy. We are the original. We are the leaders. They follow us. Yonka's voice lets hits work.
Freddy wins.